dream must stay alive.
Oh, Trudy, I thought it was bad with Sasha. But that was so wild and crazy and sudden. It was hardly sudden with Bray. But it was. At first sight.
And you didn't tell him all this time?
Not until I thought it had grown into something really strong for him, too.
Maybe it has. Maybe Ebony was forcing him.
Does that look like he's being forced?
Welcome to episode 50 of Conversation on Eagle Mountain, a podcast about the tribe. I'm your host, Lance, and joining me on the podcast panel today is Liz.
Hello.
Sabine.
Hi.
And Maggie.
Hi.
With episode notes done by Matt and myself. So episode 50, the screenplay was done by Carrie Rose. It was directed by Costa Boats. And the episode synopsis was read out by Liz.
Jack believes he's uncovered the secret to the mysterious formula, but he has a hard time convincing the others to go along with his hunch, since it means potentially leaving the mall for good. Amber remains on edge after seeing the helicopter footage of Bray and Ebony together. Meanwhile, Ebony attempts to instill doubt of Amber's true feelings into Bray's head. Remains on edge.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, on edge. That's a nice way of
Putting it
putting
lightly.
Yeah. I like that.
Okay, panel, let's jump straight to Amber, because
Oh my goodness.
on everyone's mind.
Ooh, boy.
Okay, deep breath. Amber channels her inner Bray and gets increasingly sulky in this episode, snapping at everyone, reinforcing the notion that this is survival now and that they all need to make the hard decisions. And we see her torturing herself by replaying the video footage of Bray and Ebby at the hotel over and over again. Trudy tries to comfort her and is shocked when Amber admits the true nature of her feelings for Bray and how they differ from how she felt about Sasha. So panel, first big question. What did you make of Amber's attitude in this episode?
Little brat.
Yes, that's the word. That's the word. A little brat who got her favorite toy taken away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, seeing Amber react this way to Bray's perceived betrayal kinda now makes, okay, even though I hate the Amber resurrection storyline, hate it with a fire of 1,000 suns. If this is her reaction to thinking someone cheated on her, suddenly Amber letting everyone think she was dead kind of seems in character.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree.
Like
100%.
yeah, I can now
It's very dramatic.
so irrational and
Mm-hmm.
just okay. I get you're in pain, but damn.
Yeah.
Whew, boy. I don't really have anything for her. I don't really have a defense for her.
I don't either.
Duct tape her to a chair in her room because she's no use to anybody.
Gag her. You got to gag her too, because she can't be allowed to say anything.
Like, at least when she was, upset about Sasha, she stayed to herself. She didn't try to inflict that on anybody. And it's like, okay, it's fine. She's not really harming anybody if she's sitting in her room being sad.
Yeah.
But this, she wants to lash out at everybody. She wants everyone to feel what she's feeling because she's hurt. And she's taking any opportunity she can to stab at someone because of it, and I guess it's because with Sasha didn't betray her, he just left. But this is, he cheated on me. I trusted him and he cheated on me. I didn't see this coming. I've been blindsided. And she's just pissed off at the world.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel sorry for anyone that crosses her path.
I know. We didn't do it. We weren't at the pool, Amber.
Right.
We're all in here trying to survive with you.
I think at this point everyone wishes Amber had been the one taken by Ebony instead of Bray.
Oh, man.
Though, I have to admit, she proves that she's a perfect fit for him in ways of sulkiness.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if there's any one good thing I could say about it, like, it'd just be the writing of her character and the fact that if they didn't show that Amber can be just as messed up as anybody else, then she would come across as kind of a Mary Sue, just perfect and does everything right. And she doesn't. Like, I do think this is important for her character to show that, yeah, she can be just as much a jerk as anybody if you press the right buttons.
I think it's a part of Amber that people often forget.
I don't think people forget it because Amber's got a bad reputation in the fandom, And I kind of feel like this is the sort of stuff everyone remembers. Everyone seems to forget the good stuff Amber does and focuses on when she messes up. And that's how they kind of define her, I mean, that's just my take, but I could be wrong.
No, it's not like she does it often. It's just these little moments in time. And yeah, I think the fandom does latch onto it quite big time. because
it's very out of character for her, Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not going to fault anyone for not liking this because
me neither. It's definitely a bit much. Like, we thought Bray was a lot. Like, he didn't go out of his way to intentionally hurt people, where Amber inserted herself into situations so she could lash out.
Yeah, she's deliberately trying to cause pain in this.
Yep.
Because she's hurting.
I had to laugh when she just sighed and called the boys computer nerds.
She doesn't get it.
No, but she just responds like, they're not useful for anything, And then there's Trudy having to point out to her that these boys could be saving their lives with what they're doing.
Yep. That's because Amber's not seeing straight right now. She's been hurt and everything's clouded.
I do like what it does for the story in the sense of people take Amber for granted as being the force of positive energy in their lives. From the day one, Amber's been the one who's like, we can do this. We have to do it together. She's the one who's pulled people together. She's the one who's made people work together. She's been the optimist. She's been the one trying to see the good in every person in the tribe. So when she falls down, and this girl just went down a cliff. So like, I do feel she's judged unfairly for that because it's like when your true north is gone, you're just kind of lost in the woods. And you took that compass for granted. And now that the compass isn't working, it's like someone else has to step up to the bat and do it and take care of it. And so I do think Amber gets like sometimes an unfair rap because she's not allowed to screw up. She's not allowed to be like this, even if it's only once in a while, when other characters can be like this all the time. And the fans are like, oh, it's okay. That's just how they are,
Right.
I'm not defending her this episode at all, but it just made me think like the other characters are forced to take her place in trying to be the positive energy in the mall because Amber is like legit the opposite of herself. And now she's basically being the Lex of the group.
I was just thinking that, yes. The Lex of the group, yep.
And you're just like, poor Trudy and Celine have to be Amber together. They have to join forces like Voltron.
Yeah.
And it's hard. You can see the kids struggle with that. Like, damn.
It is nice to see though that the others step up when she's this way.
Oh yeah, it's nice to see that they can.
Yes, it's like the writers realized like they took advantage of the fact that if Amber, your white knight, isn't there, who else could do it? And showing that other characters are capable of doing it, even if they're not driven to do it like Amber is. They are capable, and Trudy and Celine are keeping this mall together. And they're doing a great job, and I even love how patient they're trying to be with Amber, recognizing like last time when Sasha, people weren't as patient with her.
No.
They just expected her to get over it and do what they need her to do. This time it's like, you guys, that's not fair. She's having a rough time and she takes care of us when we're messed up, and it's just our job to pick up the slack. But yeah, I probably would have, to keep myself from throwing her down a pair of stairs, I probably would have duct taped her just in her room. Like,
right, like I said, you gotta duct tape her mouth too, because you can't listen to that either.
Like, I know you're upset. You have every right to be upset. You go be upset over there.
Right.
Yeah, but with Sasha, she did have an opportunity to go with him, stay with him. If she wanted to, she could have gone with him. With Bray, however, he got taken by Ebony.
Yeah, and then she sees, that thing at the pool. She doesn't know exactly what she's seeing. And then Trudy telling her what Trudy knows, Like, it's just a culmination of things and emotions that she's feeling. I feel for her in that sense, but I don't enjoy the way that she's expressing those emotions.
Mm-hmm.
As anger at every single person around her who is just trying to pick up the slack and do what she normally does to keep everything going. She does, but they're also, like you said, they're tolerating her, and kudos to them. Absolutely, that's great because I couldn't do it.
I would have. Yeah,
It shows a lot of growth in them.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
they recognize that, hey, she's done this for us how many times? You know what I mean? And even though her behavior is intolerable, she's not the only person who's had intolerable behavior. First of all,
It's true. It's true.
how many of us has she had to deal with going through whatever it is we're going through all the time? And it's like, I like the fact that she's being treated like any other tribe mate who's going through a rough time. Like, okay, fine.
Zandra's allowed to lash out and be insufferable.
Yeah, everybody else is allowed to do it. So I do like how much they've grown to recognize that Amber is allowed to fall apart and lose it.
And, and they're able to work around it now.
Yeah.
And still function.
And call her out the way in like a fair way. Like, okay.
Yes.
Amber, that's enough. You're going too far.
Yeah. We're done.
I do love the conversation she has with Trudy. I love everything about it. One, because it really does help you understand where Amber's hurt is coming from. As she says to Trudy, it was immediately. It was love at first sight. The minute I saw him, I felt this. And then Trudy's like, why didn't you say anything? And she's like, I wanted to wait till it was real from him. And that means a lot. Like, she knew what she felt for him was real, but she waited until she was sure that what he felt was equally strong so that she could trust him with her feelings. So it's like, it makes this perceived betrayal all the worst for her because she held off for so long and he was earning her trust that whole time. And finally she let down her guard with him. And this is what she thinks happened. Ow, man, that's a javelin.
Oh, yeah.
Gut. I'm like, ooh, yeah, that would be so painful, you know. She legit waited until she was absolutely sure Bray wouldn't betray her or hurt her, and this happened. And no wonder she wants to eat everybody.
Yeah. And he hasn't exactly had a good track record as far as the women in the tribe go, you know. So like,
he seems a little flighty, I suppose.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at, you know. So her seeing that and knowing that information and then knowing what she knows from Trudy, I understand her immediately jumping to, yes, this is what happened. She can't give him the benefit of the doubt, you know, and that sucks.
But I also like Trudy's part in the conversation too. When Trudy realized, now Trudy she had to deal with the fact that Amber and Bray had gotten together, and Amber had accidentally violated the girl code by not discussing it with her, all that stuff, and she had to deal with that. But this is the first time Trudy's realizing that Amber actually held back what she felt for Bray the entire time, and you can see the shift in Trudy's eyes. Like, holy crap. You've been in love with him since we got here, and yet you didn't do anything about it. You held it back.
Yes.
It raises her respect for Amber. You know what I mean? In that moment, like, Amber could have gone after Bray, but she never did. And it wasn't because she didn't care. You know, it was because she was trying to be a good person. And
yes,
I love that realization on Trudy's face because she immediately starts trying to give Amber hope. Which I thought was really beautiful. Like, as soon as she realizes the depth of Amber's feelings for Bray, how long she has felt this way, that's when she goes, well, maybe it wasn't what we thought it was. Like, she immediately starts fighting for this relationship.
Yeah, I think that's where, you know, things change a little bit for Trudy and Amber.
Yeah.
As far as the relationship goes, and you see it blossom, you know, like from here, it's really good. I liked it.
Yeah, I love that. And I was like, Trudy, get a gold star.
Absolutely. That Trudy, I love that girl so much.
She's like, maybe it's not what we think. Maybe there's another reason, you know. And I love that because for a second she was commiserating with Amber.
Yes, I think she was committed to the idea of letting Amber think that this is what happened. She was like, well, okay, whatever.
He did it to me, you know.
Yeah. But then she realized, and
oh my gosh, this is real. You know what I mean? I want to help this.
Yes.
It's very sweet.
Yes.
It's really beautiful.
She definitely becomes a Bramber fan.
Mm-hmm. I don't really have anything to add to what you guys already said.
Yeah, I can't really even judge Amber's snap decision or her assumption about Bray. Like,
No.
because of considering where their relationship is. And this is basically the first real hurdle of it. When I was Amber's age, I often reacted the same way to a perceived betrayal by a boy I was dating. I had zero tolerance for it. If I heard you liked another girl, if I thought you didn't want to go out with me, I would end that relationship immediately. And so I can't judge Amber for also making that assumption that Bray did this and our relationship's over. You know what I mean? Because I was quite the same way at her age.
Gross!
You hate us so much, you find us some more.
Out there.
Yeah, got it in one. Thanks for volunteering, Ryan.
I did?
Don't even think about it.
But he's hungry.
We all are. If he starves, he starves.
Amber, will you stop being such a pain just because Bray...
This has nothing to do with Bray! It's survival time, or hadn't any of you noticed?
One of the recipients of Amber's rants is Chloe, and the issue of food gets brought up. And while Amber says that we have to think about survival now, and that's something I just wanted to talk about a little bit. Because what do you think about the tribe's kind of reaction to the food situation? Because it doesn't seem to have sunk in for a lot of them. They're still feeding the pets. They don't seem that pushed to try and get food. Like, do you think their priorities are a bit misplaced at the moment?
I think it makes perfect sense for the kids, because Celine earlier mentions that they should not tell the children that that was the loss of the food. So Chloe and Patsy most likely didn't even know that that really was the last thing they had. So can't blame them for feeding their pets, and they've always tried to feed the pets.
Oh no, yeah, not blaming the kids, but the adults in the group. You have food there, you should kind of use it.
Mm-hmm.
You need it in this desperate situation.
Yeah.
I think it's a part of holding on to some semblance of normality. In a survival situation, if you can maintain some level of what life was like before, then you can stave off just how bad things really are. You can feel like, okay, we're okay. We are okay. We're not the kind of people who have to eat our dogs. You know, we're normal. We're above this line of desperate. And so having pets that they are like, there's a line we don't cross, we don't eat them. It makes life feel a little normal. And when you have the majority of the people in the group saying, yes, we really require that normality. So we're feeding the dog,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we're feeding the chickens, we're feeding the pig. Having a pet, having these animals makes things just feel okay. And, you know, usually it's only the minority in the group. Someone like Lex, who's just like, why are we feeding these creatures? This is stupid. And so, you know, when you cross that line to things getting so desperate, you can't even hold on to that normality. It's like people in poverty, if they can have a phone, if they can afford a phone, things are okay. We're doing okay. But the minute you can't afford something as basic as a phone or being able to wash your clothes, that's when it hits you how, like, you're in desperate straits. This is really bad. And that tears at you, that rips at you, you know. And so I do think in survival situations, people cling to any sense of normality they can, and having pets is part of theirs. And so, yeah, you don't want the children to know that maybe we shouldn't be feeding the dogs, you know, feeding the dog, or you don't want to tell them that this is how bad things are getting, that this is actually a question on the table. If we should eat, like says, we have a buffet. Why are we going hungry? What are we doing, you know? But I feel that for many of them, that would be crossing the line out of what's normal for them into someplace they can't come back from, like psychologically.
Yeah.
And remember, one of the people who says no, their pets, we're not eating them, is Trudy, who even when starving and pregnant refused to eat hot dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, her principles were being a vegetarian before the virus.
And it says something that Amber, who's always fought for this bit of normality for everybody, is now, in such a desperate place of anger and just anguish and hopelessness that even she's like, don't feed the dog, and it's like, what? Like, Amber? Seriously?
Yeah.
Coming from you?
Yeah.
How bad are you feeling, And
if anything, it's not like you're gonna eat Bob. Porky, sure, but not Bob.
No.
Yeah, I think one of the things that plays into it is that up till now, every time they had a food shortage, it got solved.
that's another thing they took for granted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Bray
Yeah, they
was
got very
really
comfortable
good.
and complacent, and Bray was who brought in the food. Yeah.
He was really good at providing for them, and now he's gone, and the whole mall's like, what are we going to do about food? How are we going to get food? Nobody wants to go out there.
Shows how important he is.
And it's a lot more dangerous to go out there now. Nobody's trading,
No, and they always downplayed Bray's use. But it's moments like this where it really shows what he did.
Sure.
I think it also speaks to just the hope unraveling. Like the virus shows up and the kids they decide to respond with hope, optimism. We can beat this. We got to try and beat this. And they were able to hold on to it for so long. But then all this stuff starts going wrong. You get this stuff, you think it might be the antidote, but you don't really know. You didn't really get any answers. And then, you get attacked. Your mall gets sacked. Everything you've managed to save up for yourself, all your resources have been taken from you. The people who were supposed to rescue you took your only hope for the virus away, and they took your provisions person. At some point, you lose that hope to keep going. And you can see everyone sort of kind of falling into a chaotic despair. Like, what's the plan? We don't even have a plan now. You know what I mean? It's like Jack's trying to go through those files, but what the heck is he going to find, And you can feel it's just all falling apart. It's like the Titanic sinking. They were able to maintain order for only so long until the reality of this boat is going in the water.
Yeah.
It's falling apart.
I do like that. The moment they get that far down, Ryan finally realizes what he has to do, that he has to be the one to step up.
He's the only one.
Yeah, but I just like that moment,
Yeah. It was very big of him, and I loved him coming. He's been coming into his own so much over the last, few episodes, and seeing him really be like, oh, yep, this is what I have to do. This is what we're going to do. And they do it. They get it done. Good for him.
Maybe the others can help.
What?
Like a crossword. You can do them faster if everybody pitches in.
Dal, do you have any idea how dangerous this is? Whoever has the antidote has absolute power.
And if Toppet knew we had the formula, or Ebony...
Or even Lex, if you wasn't dying.
Jack continues to work on the computer files from Hope Island, and he thinks he's finally onto something when he spots a repeated reference to the word eagle and what he believes to be a numerical code. Dal suggests sharing the code to the rest of the tribe to see if anyone else can puzzle it out, but Jack is immediately wary, knowing that if this leads to the formula for the antidote, that they need to be careful about who has the knowledge. Yeah, panel, that's what I want to focus on for the moment. Like, what did you think about Jack's thought process here, and like kind of hints to the Series 2 storyline that's going to come? And yeah, do you think anyone in the tribe really couldn't be trusted with the formula?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, Jack, I think, always has a little sense of paranoia to him. So it makes sense for him to feel that way, and it is very smart, and it's logical, and yeah, there's definitely people that can't be trusted.
I think Jack realizes very much that right now, at this instance, Amber might actually be one of those people.
Yeah.
Because if she would have known for sure she had the formula to the antidote, she would have bartered that for Bray in a heartbeat, just to get him away from her.
It's a fair point.
Yeah.
I think, if anything, Jack has recognized if you give the wrong people power,
yes,
you don't know what they're going to do with that.
Yes.
And he's already seen things like, what did Lex do when he had the power of being in charge, or the power of, being able to bully Jack into giving him, not telling on him for stealing water, he immediately used that power for ill. And that's what many people do. That's what Jack has seen around him. Being a small person, he's very familiar with powerful people using that power for wrong, and it doesn't hurt that Jack is himself tends to think along the lines of the darkest things that he would do to people if he had the power to do it. So he's very quick to assume that they'll do it to us if they have the power to do it. So I thought, it makes sense that he would be the one to think of that.
And he does have a point, because other than Dal, who can he really truly trust with that information right now?
Yeah, I think Dal's the most neutral person there could be.
Imagine the little ones, if they manage to slip outside, get into trouble, and get picked up by a big bad other tribe. You don't want them to have that kind of information to just spill.
But and at this point in time, like, everyone's kind of, you want to get it out there to the city. It's not like a bargaining chip kind of deal. So if you saw what I mean, it's like, it's about keeping everyone alive. It's not like a
but that's just it. Jack's thinking the Mallrats would use the antidote to help other people, but the last few days,
others wouldn't.
The last few days have already shown us. Okay, put it this way: why did Tribe Circus attack the mall? Because they thought they had something there. You know what I mean? That's the only reason why they showed up, to try and take stuff from them. Because Casey had traded with a lot of batteries, and then he had a pig, and that's the only reason they went there, to take from them. The only reason Ebony even bothered to come and rescue them is because Lex told him what they found on Hope Island. So if anyone found out that they had the antidote, like, I don't blame Jack. We can't just tell anybody that. That innocently gets out there. Not only that makes us a target, and then it could be used poorly, because Ebony took their only hope. She's not sharing it with anybody. She's not looking into she's not trying to see what's in that. She wasn't trying to test she wasn't testing it. She wasn't trying to figure out how to make more. She was completely irresponsible with that stuff. And so, I'm on Jack's side. You can't just let anybody know what this might be.
Yeah, so you mean, I think this is just my issue with season 2, I guess. I would have just told everybody. I would have just kept everyone alive. I would have just told everybody. Put everyone back.
But that's because you're a nice person.
Put everyone back onto a level playing field, and whatever happens after that is after that. But that's.
Yeah, but what if you figure out the formula, and then find out that the ingredients are rare? Do you really want everyone to know and risk having the chance of not being able to get the ingredients?
Well, everyone knows you're giving them a fighting chance, isn't it? You're not keeping it just to yourself and your little team that can hopefully get it all together. You're giving everyone else a chance, and obviously traders going on to other cities, and you're like, I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah, but I don't know. It makes sense. I don't know. It makes sense to make sure you're safe first before you help others.
Excluding how the power issues dealt with in season 2, because I totally see where you're coming from, Lance. I'm not going to address that yet, but I will just say in this instance, I understand why Jack doesn't want to tell anybody. One, they haven't figured out what they know. And again, the last few days, I would be like, I don't want anyone to know what we're working on yet either, because even an innocent slip of information could cause a lot of trouble. So I'm just saying, in this instance, I understand why Jack is just like, yo, there are people in our own tribe we can't trust with certain information. So until we know what we're dealing with, let's just keep it on the DL. Just me and my boyfriend, we'll figure it out. And then when we know what we're dealing with, we will share it with everybody. Because as soon as Jack believes he knows what he's dealing with, that's his first instinct, to tell everyone.
Yeah.
But until he knows what they're dealing with, he's like, just keep it between us.
Okay, can we talk about the miraculous recovery of Lex, please?
It's amazing. It's like magic.
Was incredible.
It was the best thing I've ever seen. What are you guys' bets on the time frame that it took from start to finish?
My only real problem with it is that, now I mentioned before that they were subtly showing in his makeup that he was slowly getting better. And I was like, oh, look at that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's nice. But I don't like how in one scene Lex looks one way, still looks pretty sick, still feeling pretty badly. And then legit, the next scene, him and, Zandra are interacting, he's fine. And I'm just like, what you literally just brought him that food and he hasn't finished the food. How did he get better in the span of holding this bowl? She brings him the food and tells him he needs to eat. He says he's not hungry. And then the next scene we see them together, she clearly has left the room for a second and has returned. And now she's addressing him and he hasn't even finished eating. I'm like, how did he get better within the span of like a half hour? If that. I don't think that was very well edited together.
And above that, how did his hair suddenly change back? Suddenly shiny and black again.
Magic. It's the only explanation.
Yeah, I don't know. I know people's hair might turn white due to traumatic experiences. I'm like, does it gain color back? Can you like give your hair therapy?
No, it doesn't. No, it stays.
Even if it would gain some color back, it would grow out.
Right.
They dyed it, okay? They dyed it. They thinned it out and they dyed it.
It's one of those very inconsistent things, like when people get the virus and what happens when they get the antidote. But
yeah, it was pretty bad. I didn't like the editing of that, of how quickly he looks this way and then boom, next scene he's better. I'm like,
all I can imagine is the skin peeling off like Elmer's, glue off your hand, and it's brand new skin underneath and it's just beautiful and
that's fine. It's mainly the hair I have the issue with.
It's kind of like when it just reminded me of like a magic spell, like if this was magic, it would have totally made sense. Like King Theoden.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's magic.
Once, Gandalf the White frees him from the spell he's under.
Yeah.
He's suddenly a young king again. And it's like, oh, it's because it was magic. Yeah. It's fine. But this is supposed to be science. And I'm just like, okay.
Pretend it's magic.
Hey, it's science, and it's by the same company that tried to reduce aging. Is that what they were after when they created it? They wanted everyone to look young again.
I got nothing. I can't defend it. I got nothing.
Yeah, I'm still like trying to think how he got all his energy back straight away. Like it was jumping up and down. Like how?
It was
How did he not notice that?
Amazing.
How did he not notice he was feeling a little better? How did he not look down at his hands and say, "Wait a second"? You know what I mean? Like even Glenn, when he was feeling just a rush of energy from all the herbs Tyson was giving him, was like, "I feel better." Lex didn't notice any of this.
I don't. I have no words, to be honest.
I want to know what was in that food.
Miracle rice.
I say it was just mashed rice, wasn't it?
Minute rice.
Cream rice. But apparently it's magic and we need some.
What I think is great with the antidote is like he takes it and he takes it and he takes it and there's no change, and then all of a sudden he doesn't take it. And how long did he go starting to take it? This so is there an incubation period apparently?
Well, most medicines, even antibiotics, take a couple of days before they're effective.
Yeah, it's usually you have to take a round of them every day, or like and you gotta do
I know.
So I think with Lex, like that is what's interesting, because we'll never know if one dose would have been enough, and Ebony just didn't have the patience to wait it out and see. Like maybe she didn't have to give him 3 of those things. She could have given him 1 and just left him in isolation while it coursed through his body.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
But that's why, again, Lex is that you can't decide how the virus works by watching Lex, because he's such a unique case.
That's true.
Story-wise, I will say it's actually a fun surprise for the viewer, because by this point you're convinced Lex is done. He's already been given the experimental, like you've given up on the stuff that they found on Hope Island. It didn't work. That's what you're thinking. Ebony gave it to Lex. It didn't make him better. He poured out the rest. So that's game over, So it really does a good job of bringing you to this hopeless place of like, well, Hope Island didn't give us any answers. Jack's not finding anything useful in these files. Lex is going to die, and then it pulls it back and it's like, what are you telling me that stuff actually worked? You mean that what Jack's doing isn't useless? And I just think that's a really nice like journey for the viewer to go through, because you're just starting to feel as hopeless as a kid. Jack doesn't find an antidote, he finds coordinates. You're like, we don't want coordinates, and then suddenly it's like Lex is hope again.
But what about Jack cracking that code thing? Isn't he going to get the answer?
I'm sure he will, Patsy. I'm just the backup plan, that's all.
Yeah, let's talk about Tyson. What do you think is going through Tyson's mind here? Do you think she was simply trying not to crush Patsy's hope, or do you think she is kind of realizing that Jack is their best and only hope?
Being diplomatic. I told you she's capable of it. Tyson doesn't
Yeah.
believe that science is going to answer this. Okay? She doesn't believe that Jack's going to find the answer. She's made it clear that she doesn't think that's where the answer is. Oh, Jack will find something, but she doesn't believe that that's what's good for us, you know? And so whatever he finds, she's like, don't do it, don't take it. That's bad. Like Tyson truly believes that going down that road is not the way we should try to save ourselves. And so I love the fact that she's being diplomatic with Patsy, because she's doing what she's doing because she's trying to find the true answer, the true way to save all of them. But she doesn't, do that to Patsy. She doesn't tell her, like, I'm doing this because, what Jack is doing isn't going to help anybody. Instead, I really appreciated her being diplomatic about it. I was like, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, for once he showed compassion.
Nice job.
Yeah.
There's no reason to strip Patsy of that hope.
No. I appreciated it.
Whatever gets you by. If you need to believe that Jack will get you the answer, that's fine. I'm still here to save the day. Honestly, I'm going to say this. I think that Tyson might be going through a little bit of a spiritual block of doubt. I was thinking to myself, now, if Tyson truly believes that spiritualism, all this stuff is what cleanses you and saves you from the virus, what must it have done to her head to watch her parents die? The people who taught her this. It didn't save them. They died. And so what frame of mind would you have to get into to not have your entire belief system destroyed? You'd have to believe that the grown-ups as a whole, as a monolith, were too broken to fix. But we're not them. There's still hope for us. And then, she gets sick and she gets better, and that just fuels what she needs to believe. But I'm wondering if she started to doubt it because Lex wasn't getting better. Lex had gone on a spiritual journey and all that jazz. And when she sees him and believes, like, look how happy she is.
Yes, I know.
That is someone with faith restored. It's like,
yeah.
I almost hated to be happy for her in that moment.
I feel like she's been struggling with this. You know what I mean? Needing to believe this and waiting for some kind of spiritual answer that she's on the right path, because I truly believe she wants to save everybody. And I was like, you're having a rough time, aren't you, Tyson?
Well, I wanted to make it up to you for ignoring you for Zandra.
Forget it. Doesn't matter.
It does to me.
Why? Feeling left out now Lex is feeling better?
No, it's not that. It's just, I wanted to make sure I said sorry before I go.
What difference does it make?
Well, perhaps it doesn't.
But yeah, the main question here is, panel, how do you think Celine really feels about Ryan?
I think she cares about him. I think she liked the attention that he was giving her. I think in this moment she might even think that she loves him. I don't know.
I think Celine always needs to feel like there's someone there who can help her, who can save her. And especially with her relationship with food, she had a lot of help from Ryan there. And now they're suddenly without food, which is very scary for her. And Ryan is the one to step up, and that, I think that's one of her points of attraction to him. He's going to solve the issue for her.
I personally think it has a lot to do with reliability, knowing that there's someone you can actually count on. And, Celine has abandonment issues. She was abused by her mother. And so she does latch on to people if she thinks she can count on them. And which probably explains the way she responds if they've let her down in any way, shape, or form. And even if they aren't to blame, she, her response is to feel immediate dejection because it's like, I depended on you and I needed you, and you've just proven I can't depend on you, and that is like a vital part of my well-being. And so, here's Ryan, who was proving in the background all along that he was a very reliable person, and they get close. And then he's there for her and he's helping her through this. And then, he just like passes her off so he can take care of Zandra. And then obviously Celine felt very betrayed by that. Like, I depended on you. I thought I could rely on you. And here he is like apologizing. I'm sorry, and I think when I see her, like, it's her forgiving him. Like, okay, maybe it wasn't fair to put that on you, that he still is a reliable guy. He still, he didn't abandon her. I don't know. It seemed like she was mad at him, but she decided she forgave him, seeing him for what he really is. That he still is a really great guy, and taking a leap, to, okay, I am gonna still trust you because at least I know you wouldn't betray me on purpose. Maybe on accident. You might hurt my feelings. You might not always get what I need, but you won't hurt me on purpose. And that's worth something. I do think she cares about him, and it's a scary step, but I think that's what she's trying to do. Take that step of trusting him.
And I think what helps with that is that he comes to her, to tell her that, okay, he feels like he did wrong and he wants to make it up. And I think that really helps her in seeing him the way that she should again.
It also helps that she's comparing his perceived act of abandonment to actual ones she's suffered in her life, and realizing that, okay, Ryan didn't really abandon me or anything like that. He still is a reliable person. He still cares about me. Yeah, I do think she cares about him. And just like anybody else, she's got tons of baggage she's bringing into that relationship.
Do you think she loves him, though?
It's probably too soon to tell. She's what, 14, 15?
She likes the idea of having someone that wants her.
Yeah. Maybe it feels like love.
Well, most teenage girls do.
Yeah. And, suddenly, with Lex being better, Zandra isn't competition anymore.
Yeah, I think that might also play a part in it. Like, she was upset that he had abandoned her for Zandra. But at least I think in some part of her brain recognizes that he wasn't trying to hook up with Zandra. He just felt like it was his place to take care of her. Even though it still upset Celine. But also I kind of wonder, this is just me spitballing. Tell me what you guys think. Here's Celine, in this codependent relationship with Ryan already. And the minute he can't quite take care of her or put all his focus on her, she feels hurt and betrayed. And then, she's deciding to forgive him. But if you'll notice, she almost changes the way she wants this relationship to be between them. Like, she decides to go out with him to go try and find food. And when Casey and Ryan try to turn her into a damsel, she decides to prove them wrong. I almost get the sense she doesn't want to be Ryan's damsel. Like, she wants to be on more equal footing with him. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going in her head, but I'm like, is she reevaluating what their relationship is? She doesn't want to be someone Ryan has to save. She wants to be his equal. I don't know. I was just wondering about that, because I'm like,
I can see that for sure.
I don't want you to hang around me because you think I need to be taken care of.
Yeah.
I want you to choose me, Ryan.
Because she sees that that's how he is, with Zandra. And she doesn't want to be Zandra. She wants to be different,
She doesn't want to be the most damsel-y just to keep Ryan.
Right.
Like, I want you to be with me because you actually want to be with me, not because you think I need to be taken care of. But I mean, that's just me spitballing out there what might be going through her head.
I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, she does have that conversation with him during the train yard earlier, where she says like she wants them to look after each other rather than he look after her. So, I think you're right. That is playing on her mind.
Because if Ryan was with her and he was by her side and they were looking after each other, but the minute Zandra needed to be taken care of and Ryan's like, okay, this person needs more care than you, and he, just stops focusing on Celine, what would that make you feel if you were Celine? Was he only with me because he needs someone to take care of? I don't want to be that. I want him to be with me because he actually likes me, and it's an equal partnership between us, and
he's seen that being very needy doesn't get you anything.
It just leaves you vulnerable. And you can tell Celine hates that about herself when she is feeling like that, when she feels helpless and vulnerable. She hates it.
See it a lot more later on in the show,
She wants to be able to respect Ryan. She wants him to be able to respect her. And I like that little moment of forgiving him, like baked beans.
It was sweet.
And then like, you know what? I'm going out there with you. We're going to be partners in this. You know, I'm not going to stay back at the castle.
But one thing I've noticed, you know, throughout the season, that in the beginning, and yes, of course, Bray was going out back then, but Celine's always one of the girls who says, "Okay, I'll come with you." Why can't girls go out and help?
I don't know.
You know, I like that about her. She just wants to show that she can do stuff as well, that she's not to be locked up in a tower for safekeeping.
It's a nice mirror image, though, because when she wanted to go out with Bray, it was just because she wanted to be with Bray.
Mm-hmm.
And this time it has nothing to do with being with Ryan so much as being Ryan's equal and actually playing a part in helping. So I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It shows some growth for her because, you know, when she wanted to go out with the water, it had nothing to do with helping with the water.
Absolutely not. No.
And I love the part she plays. She proves that, yes, I can handle myself out here. I'm not a dashing hero and I have weaknesses and vulnerabilities, but you know, I want to be respected and seen as someone who has value and can contribute. I don't want to be a sad sack that everyone else has to care about or take care of or worry or, you know, I want to be a valued member of this team. I want to prove that I can be, you know, and she was awesome out there. Like, go Celine.
Even KC was impressed.
She was so quick to think on her feet at that moment.
Yeah.
The fact that they were going to take a 10-year-old out there to get food, but when she volunteered, they're like, "Oh no, you're a girl, you can't." And she's like, "Are you serious?"
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm going to prove you two wrong.
Yes.
Let's just ignore the kind of bashing of the heads with the motorcycle helmets because that annoys me so much.
Best fight scene ever. What are you talking about?
Like, they're helmets. Aren't they supposed to protect the head?
Maybe they counteract each other.
I don't buy it.
I didn't ask for your opinion.
I know why you want Amber. It's to get back at him. Well, if you want her, you get her.
I'm telling you.
And I'm telling you. We know where we can get the antidote, and it's not in the mall.
Spike?
Wait here, you'll see.
Okay, let's move on to the juicy scene between Ebony and Bray.
Oh, yes.
Because Ebony gets her claws out. She decides that, nope, I've had enough, and she turns to revenge instead, instructing Spike to go to the mall and bring Amber to her on the pretense that she has the antidote formula. But it seems that Ebony's power is waning because Spike doesn't believe her, and it seems that he's tired of her personal crusade. Panel, what did you make of the Loco's like blatant defiance to Ebony's orders and the cracks begin to show in her leadership?
I loved it.
This girl,
Thought it was about time.
she is her own worst enemy.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this, and I'm like, until Ebony heard from Lex that the Mallrats had picked up something that could help with the virus, she didn't have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't had a plan through any of this. Her plan is to stay holed up in the hotel and hope this virus doesn't touch her, you know? And it's like, you are not going to be able to keep a mob of people who the only way that, you know, you rule them is through power and stuff. You're going to be able to keep them under control when you don't have a plan as the world is ending. And she's just spending all day in denial, swimming in a pool.
Yeah.
Eventually, the rest of the locals are like, you know, they're dropping like flies. They keep finding people in their ranks who have this thing. They're not using any real precautions to not get caught. There's several of them still out in the streets causing trouble and stoning other kids. She does not have a handle on this at all. You know, it's like you're just watching it unravel and it's inevitable. I'm like, Ebony, what is your plan? Even when you stole that stuff from the mall, you didn't do anything with it. You didn't like, we need to test this. We have to, not even to check its pH balance. You did nothing with it. I was like, I'm not surprised at all that it's falling apart and that the Locos are like, they're looking to her for leadership and she's giving them nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so true.
And I do like that Spike just says, nah, you're just being a girl, you know, jealousy, pity, just petty little thoughts. We're not going to do that for you.
Yeah, I think it's about time someone stood up to her.
It makes me laugh that she's been able to keep up this facade.
Legit. Like, how? This tiny little lady.
And then they see her with her pretty boy. And they're like, oh my god, she's acting
Yeah.
like a girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Ew, our leader is not as tough as we thought.
Starts
Oh,
messing with her
man.
masculinity. Why have we been listening to her?
Mhm.
And she has no plan. That doesn't help. It makes it worse for her. And they're wondering, like, they understood why she took Lex.
Mhm.
They understood what the purpose of that. He was a test subject. But now she's got Bray hanging around. And they're watching going, why is this guy here? Why did she have him a prisoner? She's not getting information out of him. We're not torturing him. We're not doing anything to him. Oh my gosh, she just has him here because she wants to be with him. Like, that's gonna blow your cover. Like, Ebony, what are you doing? You're not even hiding what this is about. You're trying to seduce Bray out by the pool. These people have front row seats to Dynasty. This is not what they signed up for. So yeah, I wasn't surprised at all. I was like, it's about time some of you grow a brain.
Yeah.
Because it seems like she only has the dumb ones hanging around. The smart ones are like, they bailed a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we know where they went.
I think even Luke was gone by this point.
No, he's in the crowd. He's part of them. Yeah, he's in the back.
Was he? Huh.
Is he? Mm.
Yeah.
I didn't notice him this episode.
Luke wasn't very smart yet.
He hasn't grown a brain yet.
Luke always requires someone to tell him what to do.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, quick what if? Like if the locals had listened to Ebony and brought Amber to the hotel, do you think Ebony would have the stones to like off Amber in front of Bray?
No.
Yeah.
I really don't. Not now. Not at this point in the show. I don't think she would.
I think she knows quite well that if she would have Amber there and would be threatening to burn her at the stake or something, that Bray would just cave and do whatever the hell she wants.
Yes. And I still don't think that she would do. I don't think she could follow through. I really don't.
No, she wouldn't have, but she would have pushed him to get her way with him.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I think I could see her doing. I agree with Maggie. I don't think Ebony would have been able to follow through with doing something to Amber at this point in time in order to try and win Bray. I don't think that's a calculated risk she would take. I don't think Ebony would see that working out for her. Like, how would that work out for her? If she actually did something to Amber, Ebony has to understand that Bray wouldn't be with her after that. Like, it would be over for her. There are certain lines she won't cross with Bray because she knows that would be it for her and Bray. Any hope of him ever speaking to her again or you know what I mean? Those lines, she's afraid to cross them with him. Oh, she threatens to, you know what I mean? She pushes as hard as she can, but there are just some places she doesn't go. And I don't see her offing Amber. But yeah, I definitely see her making Bray believe she would in order to get him to crack and be like, she's just threatening Amber and Bray immediately cracks. And it gives her that satisfaction. You know what I mean? It's just a bitter, I'm mad because I didn't win. So this girl needs to pay for that. But I don't think she would have crossed the line of actively ending Amber. You know?
She would have locked her up somewhere.
Yeah. You know, she would have tortured her.
Yeah, for
something.
sure. Made her a slave, you know.
Get an infected person to, smother her. Whatever. You know, just something. Give her kisses.
If anything would have made the mole rats work their little butts off to get that formula quickly would have been by infecting Amber.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think she would have done anything to Amber that would be completely unforgivable or something she couldn't take back. You know what I mean? Because she'd still need to be able to look at Bray and be like, whoa, I didn't, because that's still her end goal.
Yeah, nothing permanent.
Yeah, that's still her end goal is to win him, or make him pay for not choosing her. But she still wants to win him,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the end, that's what she wants.
And she doesn't really care how she gets it. She's thinking, sure, he'll only say he loves me to protect her, but I can fix that later.
Mm-hmm.
She's just throwing a tantrum. That's all this is. She's played all her cards with Bray, and she started this game thinking, oh, it'll be so easy to get him back. Because it was so easy for her to get him in the first place. And it's not working. And It's like, are you telling me you actually love this girl so much and none of my wiles are working on you? I can't handle that. I can't handle rejection because my daddy didn't love me. So someone needs to pay.
I do like that. The moment that Bray caves and goes with a no, I do want you. Just don't hurt her. I do want you.
So convincing.
See, he instantly goes, nah. You don't mean that. Too late. Bye.
But it's nice to hear you say it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Bray, come on, you you gotta fake it better than that. Oh man, that desperation. Wouldn't it be great if Ebony was like, really? That's all you needed to say. I knew you'd see sense. Okay, you guys let him go. Everything's fine.
Oh, that'd be great.
That's kind of sad in a way from Ebony's point of view. Like, he couldn't even fake it at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
like that is pretty sad.
And then again, I'm like, Ebony, sweetie, why do you even want him? You don't even like him.
No, she it's like, oh, I don't understand it. I really don't get it.
Just let it go, honey.
It's because she's like a toddler. She saw it first, so it's hers. And nobody else gets to play with it.
You know what's interesting?
Well, everybody else does.
If
It's
Bray
fine.
had liked her, Ebony has no problem rejecting him. She could have let him go. If Bray had ever actually showed that he was still into her and still kind of cared about her, I think Ebony could have let him go. I really do. Ebony's problem is that, and it will continue being a problem with her, she'll never get over the fact that Bray got over her. That's what it really comes down to. It's the fact that she still can't affect him any longer. He never looks at her and is genuinely like, I want to give that another try. You know, that's what she can't get over because he still affects her that way, and yet she has no effect on him. And I think if Bray had actually kind of liked her still, you know, it would have been no big deal for her to be like, I don't want you. It's just the fact that she can't have him, that he doesn't want her, that's just eating her alive.
Uh-huh.
And it's probably also a little bit of regret over choosing the wrong brother. Or at least not the one who managed to survive. I mean, she's the one who pushed him away and traded him in for
Absolutely.
thinking that was a smart plan.
And think how easy that was for her because he still liked her. So it was really easy for her to, you know, reject him back then.
And yeah, she just thought that now Martin's out of the picture.
She can go back to Bray.
Yeah,
she can go back to Bray. And Bray doesn't want her. And yeah, you're right. It absolutely eats her alive. Ebony doesn't like to be told she cannot have something, no matter what it is.
Yeah. I think if Zoot had tried to leave her for Trudy, even though she didn't care about Zoot, she didn't love him, she would have fought to have him just because. Yeah. She would not have accepted him rejecting her for Trudy. Even if she didn't want him, it wouldn't matter. It would just be now it'd be a matter of principle. She can't lose him that way. She can't lose. She has to have him.
She's not sharing.
No.
It's hers, all hers, and nobody else gets to have it. Even if she doesn't really want it.
It came to me in a dream. It kept coming back all night. About a mountain.
Mountain? What kind of mountain?
I don't know. It was just a mountain. And a bird.
What kind of bird?
A great, big, beautiful eagle.
So that leads us to our final thoughts of the episode. Jack and Dal work out that the numerical code is actually map coordinates for Eagle Mountain, but Jack struggles to convince the tribe to make the 20 to 30 mile trip without anything further to go on. That is, until Tyson reveals the visions that she has been having about the same place. Yeah, panel, what did you think of Tyson's visions being used as a plot device here, as well as the symbolism of both her and Jack reaching the same conclusion by different methods?
I thought it was a good representation of how in real life sometimes it's like science has all the answers, but then sometimes you get these moments where something spiritual happens and it's not really explainable. You know, we don't know why someone's cancer went away even though they didn't get any treatment, and they're just like, I just prayed to me and baby Jesus, that's what I did, and he healed me. And you're looking at him like, how did that happen? And on some level you have to admit, like, there's things we don't understand, you know? I like that.
It always made me suspicious. I'm not a spiritual person, so that might just be why I can't read much into that. But I always found it very, very typical that Jack finds out what's going on, only speaks to it about it with Dal at first, and then starts on about it, and suddenly he has dreams of the same place.
Was Tyson there when he revealed it? When he was talking? I didn't think so.
In the corner.
No, but that doesn't, but that doesn't mean he hasn't heard about what Jack found, because, you know, the kids actually still speak to her.
No, if they wanted us to believe that Tyson got this information from Jack, they would have showed her getting the information from Jack. The way it's framed is she had no way to know what Jack and Dal had discovered about Eagle Mountain. She wasn't there, and that's the whole point. That's the whole point of bringing it into question. Is everything Tyson says BS, or is there something there? And I think that's just an honest reflection of spiritualism. You know, science doesn't always have all the answers. There are things we can't explain, science can explain, and they have merit. Yeah. You know, it's the show being fair and judicial about these aspects. You know, Tyson isn't just a nutcase. There's some truth to the things that she says and believes. And, you know, there are moments people have in their lives where, like, I think I just experienced a miracle, because I have no other way to explain what just happened to me. You know, people who, like, I think my guardian angel saved me in some situation. I felt hands on me or whatever, you know, that pushed me out of the way of a car. I can't explain that. I don't know what caused that. This is a part of life. Whether or not you believe in it or not, it does exist. And I really love the fact that they brought that in. And it does make you wonder, like, again, we don't believe that she cured Lex, but this brings into question what she does believe, you know. And I've had these moments, you know, like, holy crap, I think I just experienced something that's not possible, but it did. You know, and I can't explain it. I got nothing for why or how that happened to me, but it did. And yeah, I really do like it. I thought it was a very fair look at science and spiritualism. And I love the fact that both Jack and Tyson get to the same answer by different methods. It's a very fair look at their different methods. Neither one of them is completely right. Neither one of them is completely wrong. And that's why we're supposed to consider both rather than write off either of them, I guess. Maybe it's a lesson for Jack and Tyson as much as the audience, you know, because Jack writes off Tyson, Tyson writes off Jack, and yet they both got the same answer.
I can agree with that for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
At least now she is his backup plan when nobody believes him.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the way she thought it was going to be, but she was waiting for the universe to give her an answer. And Jack needed logic to give him the answer. And I love it because the group, oh, that isn't humanity. Jack has been busting his ass for an answer for these people, and they don't like the answer, so they reject the answer. I'd be like, you know what? I'm setting you all on fire.
Oh, yeah, I would have been angry
so
as
mad
well.
at them.
Poor Jack, like, that was awful.
I just love it because Jack's logic isn't enough for them. They're just like, nah, it's a hunch, and we don't care about all the logic that you put into this answer. But then Tyson comes in with this very unexplainable dream, and that's enough to make them realize
that would be incredibly
you
frustrating,
know?
especially since they've been talking about so much for so long that Jack was their only hope. And Jack finally found something. He finally found something that was legit. There was something legitimate about this, okay? And they were unwilling to even see it for what it is or hear him out even, you know. It was very disappointing, actually.
Yeah, they did Jack dirty. I would have been so mad. I'm like, I haven't slept. Like, every moment of my life has been doing this so that we will survive. And again, just because the answer isn't what you guys wanted, you're going to reject it.
And it's not even a horrible answer. What did they expect was going to happen?
I know. It's like they thought they were actually going, they'd be like, this is the vault where the antidote
like,
is.
how do they know, though, that the antidote isn't in this place, that what did they think was going to happen? Like, they're going to be sent somewhere to find the information.
Yeah, because they all instantly respond with so what's the formula? As if that would have been just in those files.
Like I said, the all that hope, all that optimism has broken down. Too much has gone wrong. And so everybody's just in a really negative place. And there's just like, I almost wonder if they would have been more receptive if Eagle Mountain was just down the street.
That's what I'm saying. Did it have to be within a 5-mile radius? Like,
and then they'd be like, well, it can't hurt to check it out.
Seriously.
I do think that they would have been more receptive if Amber had been in a better mental place at a point in time.
Yeah, it doesn't help that Amber isn't on board, because Amber would have been able to convince them, no, you guys, we need to do this.
This is important.
So a couple of us are going there, and the rest of you just stay here, stay safe.
Right, no, Amber's all, screw it. No, that's stupid.
Gloom and doom, and we're all gonna die.
Why do you have any hope at all? There's no hope. That's where she's at right now.
You have hope, and boys cheat on you, so it's pointless.
You have hope, and boys cheat on you, and I'm gonna ruin it for everybody.
And while I do feel really bad for Jack, and how angry I would be that it takes Tyson's vision to make him realize, to listen to me, they would have done the same thing if the situations had been reversed. Like if they were counting on Tyson to give them some kind of answer, and Tyson was like, I dreamt about an eagle in a mountain, they would have been like, really? That's the answer? They wouldn't have believed her unless, Jack was like, hey, guess what I found in these
Okay, but like Jack, okay.
But at least no one ever said Tyson was their only hope.
Right, like, and Tyson dreamt about, she dreamt about an eagle in a mountain. Jack found this information in actual files. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane. It's insane.
I get what you're saying. Jack got there by logical means, but my point I'm making is that people don't always follow logic.
That's true.
And that's annoying.
And the only reason they agreed to go to Eagle Mountain is because both Jack and Tyson came to the same conclusion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's when they can't deny that. I don't know why they came to the same conclusion, but this can't be a
I understand that, yeah.
Why would Tyson, so it's like, if it had been either Jack or Tyson, it wouldn't have been enough to convince the group to go along with it. It needed to be both of them. They needed both the logical answer and a spiritual coincidence for them to realize this can't be ignored.
That makes sense, yeah.
It's the same reason they went to Hope Island, because two groups had went out looking for information, and by itself, the information they found didn't stick out as anything important. It's only when they realized that the information they both had found was compatible that they realized they needed to go to Hope Island. They wouldn't have gone if they didn't have both sides being able to corroborate the story. You know what I'm saying? So I do like that the story does that. I still think it's not fair that they just wrote Jack off. I agree. Like, that sucks, but that is human nature, unfortunately. People don't listen to the science.
No, they don't. You are correct.
Unfortunately.
You are correct.
And again, science doesn't always give you the answer.
That's true.
And it's not fair to write off things that don't make sense to you, And I like the fact that the show is just being fair about it. Both sides of that argument.
And I do think that some of them don't really know, like, if Tyson can really do the things that she says she can do. So when this happens, they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, oh my God, it's real. She's a magician. Like,
hey, the moment she came in, they instantly labeled her a witch. So
that's what I'm saying, like, and now this is, yep. I mean, I guess it all really makes sense, but poor Jack, you're right. That poor kid. Tyson got her stuff sleeping. Jack found this information not sleeping.
Not sleeping, not eating.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
Well, Tyson hasn't been eating either. She's
by
choice.
She's starving herself by choice. Really,
purifying herself.
No food, lady. We know you're just. It's a sham.
For her, meditation is work, guys.
Oh my God!
She put the hours.
She didn't eat, so God could eat.
I would be mad if I were Jack, because Tyson got the answer and she got arrested.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that is exactly what I'm saying, And he would have given anything for some food, and she's like, nah, I'm good.
And for sleep.
I'm good. Right.
He's all stressed out and strung out.
Sleep deprived and starving.
She just looked at some
like,
ruin.
I'm good. Look at these candles. Oh.
The universe gave me the answer. Jack's like, Why couldn't the universe give me the answer? I would bust my butt to find the answer. You're not open to the universe, Jack.
He did reject the universe, though. He did. I mean,
he even worked. He even totally stand, stupid Crystal.
But he had been all but rejecting it up until maybe that point.
That's not the same. Yeah, it's not the same.
No, he's so not with it. He's not woke, okay?
Thanks for that.
I just love all their faces.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, what? Did you say a mountain? And I love that Jack at this point is so desperate that even validation from Tyson is enough.
See, yes.
See, we need. I will take the crazy girl support. We're going.
Yes.
Jack's like, spiritualism for the win.
At some point, it just doesn't matter how they get to the point of
As long as they get there.
Yep.
Oh man.
So that brings episode 50 to a close. Thank you very much to the panel, and we'll see you next time for episode 51. So until then, bye.
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 Bye.